want to say hi to everybody out there, and made it to a milestone. I got 100 subscribers, and although it's a small feat, it's pretty good for for me, I think. And I just want to say thanks for making that happen, and thanks to any future subscribers I might get. But I wanted to say too, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how I made a deck height tool, my own deck height tool. Sort of failed, but I did learn a bit from it, and that's generally what I'm trying to get across in these videos is, although I'm new at this, I'm not completely ignorant to how a motor works and certain things like that, but so I'm hoping that all my subscribers or future subscribers are basically tuned in for the entertainment purposes of it. And you can learn right along with me. Like I said, I'm not completely ignorant to how these motors work. I've done a bit of research, but there's still gonna make mistakes. Stay tuned for the video. Alright, here we go. Hopefully today things are gonna start happening. Hopefully by the end of this video I'll have all 4 cylinders and the heads put on this thing. I've made a decision to, I've been struggling with CCing the heads, and it's not been going well. I keep trying to do little fly cuts and try to make them perfect. And what I've decided to do, the heads are in this box. I've already CC'd them. They're not all exactly the same, but I want them to be all exactly the same. So I've made a decision, even though this isn't for high performance purposes, I still want it to be as good as it can possibly be, so that I can, at least at the end of this, when I'm starting it up, I can say, look, man, hopefully, in a perfect world, it's gonna start and everything's gonna go as well as anybody would expect it to. So that being said, when I do get to that point, when I'm starting it, I don't want to be questioning myself on, should I have done this better? Should I have done that better? Should I, I don't want to have any thoughts in my head that something I did is the reason it's not starting, which, ultimately it will be, but, I'm trying to cross all my T's and dot all my I's, so to speak, so I can eliminate the painful questions, if it does not run or start or runs rough or whatever. I can say, I did everything, or at least I can eliminate certain things as to, well, I did that, so, it shouldn't be running this way. But anyway, I don't want to get too long on that. My idea, instead of waiting on, instead of ordering one of these deck height tools, I'm going to make my own. I have a tendency to do that kind of thing just to save a few bucks and to save some time. I know it's not going to be perfect, but for my purposes here, and I'm not done with this thing yet, I got a few things I want to do to it. For my purposes here, I think it'll work, as long as, it's just going to measure consistently across all 4 cylinders, and that's what I'm shooting for. They don't, I'm not going for a specific compression ratio. I know I'm gonna be at the lowest, 7.4, 7.5, and at the highest like an 8.3. Based on the 1 cylinder, I did kind of half-ass, was able to, get a deck height out of. So with that said, I'm gonna turn this into a deck height tool, and I'll show you that when it's done. And you know, I think it'll work fine for what I'm trying to pull off here. So I'll see you. So what I'm gonna do to get these holes perfect on this, on this plate I'm making with the head studs here, I'm gonna first mark the two longer ones, and then I'll drop it down until it hits the shorter ones. Actually, I got two different heights going on here, so I'll mark these two holes, drill them, let it fall down, mark that hole, drill it, and then when it's touching there, obviously I'll mark the last one and then drill that and see what I got. So this is probably like a 1/2 inch drill bit, maybe smaller. But anyhow, when I measured it with the calipers, it measured at like 11.5 millimeters. So in case I want to use this if I ever get 10 millimeter studs, I mean it'll be drilled out for 11 millimeters. So let's give it a go. Like butter. Two down. Alright, let's give it a test fit here. Lines up there. Lines up there. So it's not perfect on there, but I think what I'm trying to pull off here, that'll do it. I'm gonna make this a little wider here. Maybe take a little more out there. The fiber blade on the grinder, it probably, the way I've drilled these holes, just kind of willy-nilly. I don't, if these were 10 millimeter, I'd be screwed, but I'm sure it'll get me through what I'm doing right here. So I found this interesting. I opened up, first of all, I don't know what anybody was expecting with this contraption, but there it is. Getting ready to torque them down. Got my 13 millimeter, which leads me to my next point. I was looking in the book for dummies here, or the Complete Idiot, kind of insulting, but whatever. Anyhow, it says here, let's see, cylinder head nuts, and then it gives you a socket size, 15, 16, 17. Well, I'm working with a 13 millimeter, but the point of this is, it gives you two different sizes. It says 36 horsepower. Then it gives you the socket size, and then this is it's not foot-pounds, it's the other one, I can't freaking remember. Anyhow, it says 26 foot-pounds for the 36 horsepower, and then it says all the rest. But it still doesn't have my socket size, but it says 23. So I was gonna run with 23. Yeah, see, this next one's for rocker shaft nuts, which it does show. 13. So you know what? Now that I look at this, no, that wouldn't be rocker shaft. So those are cylinder heads and cylinder. Anyhow, so I was going to run with the 23, but I pulled out this book. I got Chilton, and it was a little more specific to what I got going on here. Let's see, cylinder head, and it simply says 23 foot-pounds. It gives different years, but the highest is up to, well, no, they're all 23. So, you know, I guess I can trust that. So I'm going with 23 foot-pounds on these 13 millimeter nuts to torque this down and get a deck height measurement. So the Chilton book said to do a 7, 11, and then 23, I'm assuming. So I will go by that at this point. I never trust these damn things. Make sure it's clicking. There's a click. It's not deep enough for that one. There's 7. 11. And now 23. There she is. Not happy with that. All right, pause. All right, this is where experience comes in. This plate may have worked, but it was the metal was too thin. I guess it might have worked if I didn't try to go with the full torque spec on it. If I'd have just snugged it up and made sure they were all even, I might have done fine with it. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, it kind of rolled or bent on the edges because of, you know, the unevenness of the whole thing. You know, I thought I was smarter than that, but you know, I'm kind of learning as I go here. So, and that's why if you're gonna make one of these, at least go, I would say, you know, 1/4 inch or better. I think this is right around 1/8 of an inch. Let's see if I can find my gauge. .9 millimeters, almost 3, which is how many inches? 0.11. So yeah, that was way too thin. So I'm thinking, you know, 1/4 inch or better, probably would have been a better deal on that. So that's probably why you don't want to try something homemade like this. At the very best, if I had known better, I wouldn't have torqued it all the way, and I could have at least even, done an even torque sequence on all 4 cylinders and gotten a reading close enough to, to work for my purposes. But I'm able to still be able to use this. I just have to take a different approach.